U.S. Environmental Protection Agency works closely with other civilian and military federal agencies, as well as state and local governments, to develop radiological emergency response plans and procedures. These plans specify how emergency response organizations will work together and what will actually happen during an emergency response operation. In addition to planning activities, EPA provides training and guidance to first responders and conducts and participates in exercises that simulate radiological emergencies. Jim Mitchell is an on-scene coordinator for the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. On-scene coordinators are responsible for coordinating response activities carried out by federal, state, and local officials after a significant incident. Jim describes one of their exercises, called Top Off, as an example of how the U.S. is preparing at every level for a possible radiological attack.
Top Off was an exercise that took place about 4 years ago, and it took place in Seattle, where there was a radiological dirty bomb, a device that was set off in Seattle. Now, numerous federal, the local city was Seattle, and also local communities, took part in responding to this exercise, and it was specifically to look at how the federal, state, and local governments would respond, and outline the issues that were surrounding their response, identify gaps, and try to find ways to fill those gaps. We're working towards a level of preparedness that we haven't seen in the past, and as a part of the region and as part of our response experts for responding to these type of incidents, we're working there. We need to continually develop exercises and training not only for on-scene coordinators and our own responders, both regional and nationally, but we need to integrate our plans and procedures with the locals, with state and local plans, with other federal agencies. So we clearly have a defined role, and we have develop a working path. So if something like this happens, we're not arguing over who's doing what or who's responsible for what. That we continue to achieve a level of preparedness, every day. It's an ongoing process. We cannot anticipate all the conditions or the impacts from something like this. We can take the knowledge that we have to develop through exercises, through training, through research from our national laboratories, and try to bring it to a level of preparedness that we have not seen it in the past. And we're working towards that on a daily basis.
Public education is another essential element in preparing for a possible incident.
So my message will be: prepare yourself as much as you can. Read the literature which is advising you how you have to act in case of the pandemic flu, in case of the emergency evacuations, what you have to keep in your home in case of the first couple of days of survival, like in the case of the accident. Meaning you have to trust your government, but you have to trust yourself also, because it's so many of us, it's only one government. So if you will not help yourself in the very few first moments after the accident, your government may be too late when finally government will be helping you. So you have to give the government opportunity to save you. And to do that, basically educate yourself, what you can do for yourself, and take the responsible action.
I would recommend a lot of folks visit vetted scientific internet websites.
Examples of good internet sites for information on how to respond to a radiological incident are the Department of Health and Human Services Radiation Event Medical Management site, U.S. EPA's Radiation Protection Program page, and the U.S. Department of Homeland Security's Ready America Radiation Threat site.
These are all scientifically valid, vetted websites that can provide a lot of information to folks that are concerned about the public health issues, environmental issues, and some of the socioeconomic aspects of why certain things and cleanup levels have been set the way they have. You're going to have a large variety of professional folks, subject matter experts, some who will say any amount of radiation is not good for you. Others will say you can take X amount and it's not going to hurt you at all. The truth probably is somewhere in between, and what's more important is that folks understand that, and they have to come to a conclusion themselves. The best way to do that is to educate yourself on what the risks are to you, your family, your friends, your loved ones, And do that by educating yourself at these various websites.